in the lifetime of an individual, there are two sets of teeth, that is the milk teeth replaced by permanent teeth, and that is called diffeodont dentition. The upper surface of the tongue is called dorsum and it has large number of papillae. Oral cavity leads to a short pharynx which serves a common passage for food and air. Hello everyone, welcome back to session 2 of this interesting chapter called Digestion and Absorption. Myself B. Shobharani from the Department of Biology, Vidyashram Pre-University College, Mysuru, the Temple of Excellence. I think in the previous session we were studying about the digestive system and its parts, and we also discussed about the role of teeth, and we all know how important food also is. As we know, food what we take is in the form of complex organic molecules, maybe in the form of carbohydrates, proteins and lipids, and the process of digestion of all this complex organic food originally is very difficult, so it needs to be converted into simpler absorbable form, and that process is called as digestion, which is done in a very unique system called digestive system or the alimentary canal along with associated glands like the liver and the pancreas. So moving on to the next very important concepts of this chapter, as we already discussed about what is dentition, what is diffeodont dentition, what is heterodont dentition, what is thecodont dentition. So moving with the remaining concepts of dentition, as we already come across that the dentition, then diffeodont dentition, then heterodont dentition, then thecodont dentition. So what is dentition? Arrangement of teeth is called dentition. What is diffeodont dentition? As we know, in the lifetime of an individual, there are two sets of teeth, that is the milk teeth replaced by permanent teeth, and that is called diffeodont dentition. And heterodont dentition, we have different types of teeth. So that is what we are going to study in this particular slide, that we have different types of teeth like the incisors, canines, premolars and molars, which do the different which are used for different purposes of chewing the food or biting the food or cutting the food, grinding the food. All that is done by the different types of teeth, hence it is called heterodont dentition. And thecodont dentition, as I said, the teeth is located in a bony socket, hence the name is called as thecodont dentition. So this condition, as I said, which condition is called diffeodont dentition? That is the milk teeth. We have two sets of teeth, milk teeth and the permanent teeth. Hence it is called diffeo. Diffeo means what? Two sets of teeth in a lifetime. So milk teeth is found in the childhood, and once the child is growing, it will be converted into permanent teeth. So in adults we come across the permanent teeth. So in adult human has 32 permanent teeth. So usually we make fun of how many teeth here, 32 teeth. So we have, as you know, we have upper jaw and lower jaw. We have two sets of teeth, that is totally we have 32 teeth in a mouth, that is in a buccal cavity. So which are of four different types, that is incisors, canines, premolars and molars. So here you can see incisors, canines, premolars and molars. So what is the so very different between the milk teeth and the permanent teeth? The milk teeth will not have premolars, whereas the permanent teeth will have the premolars and molars. Right? So here you can see this condition is called heterodont dentition. Why it is called heterodont dentition? We have different types of teeth meant for different purposes, and that condition is called heterodont dentition. Then the number and arrangement of teeth is always expressed in the form of dental formula. There is one formula, dental form. So 32 teeth, how are they arranged in the upper jaw and the lower jaw? So what do you mean by diffeodont dentition? So there are two sets of teeth in the lifetime of an individual. So here you can see the bony socket. So this is called bony socket. We have, so this is in one upper jaw and this is in the another jaw. So we have around 32 teeth, and because we have two sets of teeth in our lifetime, that is the milk teeth replaced by the permanent teeth, we use the word called diffeodont dentition. So adult human has how many teeth? 32 teeth. And what are the types of teeth? We have four types of teeth: incisors, canines, premolars and molars, hence the name heterodont dentition. So the number and arrangement of teeth is always expressed in the form of dental formula. Now let us see what is the dental. See how beautiful this picture is. So imagine the beauty of a face is enhanced by this beautiful teeth, right? Then I think the doctor who takes care of all these problems that we have in teeth, dentition, is called as a dentist. Dental MD. I think all of us know that dental, they go for the study called BDS, and next for PG course called MDS, right? So the dental formula of adult man or women is 2:1:2:3. That is by 2:1:2:3. So this is in the upper jaw and this is in the lower jaw. So what are two? Two is incisors, one is canine, two are premolars and three are molars. So this is premolar, sorry, and this is molar. So in a similar way, incisors, canines, premolars and molars in the upper jaw and lower jaw. So two incisors, one canine, three molars. So the numerator indicates the number of different kinds of teeth, half of the upper jaw. So the denominator indicates the number of different kind of teeth present in each half of the lower jaw. So the picture what is shown is here about only the upper jaw. So in a similar way, we have it in the lower jaw. So this is a very important question which is asked for one. Write the dental formula of human. So what is the dental formula of human? 2:1:2:3 by 2:1:2:3. So what is two? Incisors. What is one? Canine. So canines will be more prominent in canidae, that is in canines. Like for example, the dog, tiger, lion, they have more because they are flesh eaters. So they are going to tear the flesh and eat. Incisors, canines are very, very prominent in carnivorous animals. So two premolars and three molars. So in a similar way, lower jaw 2:1:2:3. That is two incisors, one canine, two premolars and three molars. Tongue. So that was all the story about the teeth. Now let us understand about a very important organ called tongue. Already I have mentioned how important tongue is for a human being. So tongue serves two very important purposes. So the food what we eat is mixed. The mixing process is made possible by this muscular structure called tongue, and at the same time the speech is made possible by the tongue. So here you can see the beautiful tongue here, right? So now let us understand, because all these are very, very important. So we may feel that this is all very common, we know everything, but how important is, I think till now even none of us have understood the importance of all these organs. Only when it goes wrong with the organ, then we'll know the importance of that particular part of the system. So tongue also is important. Teeth, I think the toothache what we have sometimes with some tooth problems, I think then only we'll understand how important it is to maintain good teeth, right? So even tongue also, like morning when we brush the teeth, we need to brush it properly. Then at the same time, when we need to clean the tongue, so all the toxic substances that are found on the tongue should be removed. So brushing the teeth frequently, for example, whenever we have food, we need to brush our teeth so that the food crumbs will not get stuck in the teeth, so that we can avoid tooth decay also. So tongue. The tongue is a large muscular organ found attached to the hyoid bone. So we have this hyoid bone, V-shaped bone called hyoid bone in the oral diaphragm. So the tongue is a large muscular organ found attached to the hyoid bone in the oral diaphragm. So this is called oral diaphragm. So tongue has an apex, body and a base. So the tongue has been divided into three parts. One is apex, body and base. So the upper surface of the tongue is called dorsum. So the upper surface of the tongue is called dorsum. It has large number of papillae. And I think we were talking about different types of food. How do we taste the food? The very, very important is the tongue is not only responsible for speech or for mixing of the food and swallowing of the food. The taste of the food is felt by the tongue because we have taste buds located on the tongue, and that is the reason why we are relishing the different types of food. We are able to relish the different tastes of food because of this wonderful organ called uh, part of a digestive system called tongue. So I think all of us know how important tongue is. Imagine if we were not able to relish the taste, I think we would not have gone for the so many varieties of food what we eat in our everyday life. And the varieties what we prepare and eat, it all depends upon the taste. Then, and I think whenever you have food at home, we first we are very much specific about the taste of the food than the quantity of the food. Taste of the food matters a lot. So the upper surface of the tongue is called dorsum, and it has large number of papillae. And the papillae, what is the importance of papillae? Papillae contains specialized group of sensory cells called the taste buds. See how important tongue is. If not, if we don't feel the taste, imagine how, I think we would not have eaten the so many varieties of food. Some food we would have eaten, but only to fill our stomach. And I think all of us know food is necessary for our body to maintain, to get energy. So that is not the only aim of having the food. We need to enjoy the food what we eat. And that is how the culinary department has become so very famous now. And even in the TV channels, we have a lot of shows where they show how to prepare the food. The methodology of preparation of food varies from a place to place, from a region to region, from a state to state, and even from a country to country. But food is food. The variety of foods what we eat differs from a place to place, but the taste matters a lot. So the papillae contains, it has large number of papillae, and the papillae contains specialized group of sensory cells called taste buds. So what is tongue? Tongue is a large muscular organ found attached to the hyoid bone in the oral diaphragm. Tongue has three very important parts called apex, body, and a base. And the upper surface of the tongue is called the dorsum, and it has large number of papillae which contain specialized sensory cells called taste buds. So imagine how important this part of the digestive system called tongue is. Moving on to each and every part of the digestive system is important. We cannot tell that this part is so very important, the other part is not important. Each and every part of the digestive system has its own role to play. So next is the pharynx. As I said, we have two very important, we can call them as pipes. One is called the windpipe, that is trachea, and the other one is called, that is, we can also use the word called larynx. Then the food pipe that is called pharynx. So we know food pipe is very important for the passage of food. What is larynx? Larynx is very important for the passage of wind, air. And at the same time, very important for what? Larynx is so very important because the sound box is found in the larynx. We are able to speak or make sound. It is because of this wonderful organ called larynx. So both are very, very important. So in this particular slide, let us study about the pharynx. So here you can see the beautiful picture of the pharynx. Here it is, pharynx is divided into three parts. One is called nasopharynx, that is found near the nose. Oropharynx, that is found in the buccal cavity. Then laryngopharynx, which is found near the larynx. So the pharynx is divided into three parts. What are the three parts? One is called nasopharynx, oropharynx, and laryngopharynx based on the position. So the pharynx that is found near the portion of the pharynx that is found near the nasal cavity, it is called as what? Nasopharynx. Buccal cavity, it is called oropharynx. Near the larynx region, it is called the throat. As we know, it is the larynx, laryngopharynx. So now let us understand about the pharynx. The oral cavity leads to a short pharynx which serves as a common passage for food and air. So we know that pharynx, like larynx, is responsible for the passage of air. This pharynx is responsible for both food and air. So that is very important unique feature of pharynx. The esophagus and the trachea is otherwise called windpipe, opens into the pharynx. Opens into the pharynx. So the esophagus and the trachea, which is otherwise called windpipe, opens into the pharynx. And a cartilaginous flap called epiglottis. There is one flap-like structure called epiglottis, which is going to act as a barrier. It will not allow the wind to pass when food is taken, and food to pass when air is taken in. So it acts as a flap-like structure, epiglottis. So a cartilaginous flap called epiglottis prevents the entry of food into the glottis opening of windpipe during swallowing. See how efficiently they are carrying on their functions. So definitely we should appreciate and applaud the very important functions of all the organs that are all the functions that are going on inside our body. Imagine how meticulously they are able to carry on without the command of the human being. So they are all, we call them as involuntary functions. Maybe eating of food is voluntary, but later on process is all involuntary. So what is pharynx? The oral cavity leads to a short pharynx which serves a common passage for food and air, and it is broadly classified into 3 parts. So pharynx is broadly classified into 3 parts. What are they? Nasopharynx near the nasal region, oropharynx near the buccal region, and laryngopharynx near the larynx region. Then the oral cavity leads to a short pharynx which serves a common passage for food and air. The esophagus and the trachea put together, we call it as windpipe, opens into the pharynx. So a cartilaginous, so epiglottis is made up of a small soft, we can call it as a soft tissue. So cartilaginous flap called epiglottis prevents the entry of food into the glottis, opening of opening of the windpipe during swallowing. Moving on to the next very important part of the digestive system called esophagus. So this is called as esophagus. It is a pipe-like structure which helps in the passage of food that is chewed in the mouth and which is converted, which is mixed with the saliva, and it is made into a soft semi-solid food called bolus, rolls down this tubular structure called esophagus. So very, very important part we can say. So even all the parts are important. So here, now let us understand about esophagus. So the esophagus is a short tube about 25 centimeter long. So what is the length of esophagus? It is around 25 centimeter long. And what is the region? Where is it present? It is present anterior to the vertebral column and behind trachea. So what is the position of this esophagus? It is present anterior to the vertebral column, that is anterior to the backbone, and behind trachea. So it is found behind trachea, and a short portion of esophagus is in the neck region. So a short portion of esophagus is in the neck region, and the rest of it is in the thoracic region. So the esophagus conveying the food and water from pharynx into the stomach. So what is the very job of esophagus? It conveys the food, the semi-solid food that rolls off from the mouth into the stomach through pharynx. So what is esophagus? The esophagus is a short tube around 25 centimeter long, and it is present anterior to the vertebral column and behind trachea. Trachea is, as we say, esophagus with trachea, which forms what? Windpipe. Then a short portion of esophagus is in the neck region, and the rest of it is in the thoracic region. So the esophagus conveys the food and water from pharynx into the stomach. Hope you have understood the very important concepts what I have explained in this particular session about the different parts of digestive system. May it be the pharynx, or it might be the esophagus, or even we studied about the different types of teeth. So I'll be back in the coming session with some more interesting concepts of this chapter, which is very important, not just from examination point of view. In everyday life, we come across this internal process, internal physiological process going on. So this is very important from knowledge point of view, how important it is to maintain this digestive system. If not, the whole body will be disturbed, because as you know, if digestion of food is a source of energy for us, and if that does not take place properly, then the whole other physiological physiological processes will be definitely affected. So I'll be back in the coming session with some more interesting concepts. Till then, goodbye and thank you.